everyone, welcome to a new video. In today's video, we'll be talking about psychoeducation assessment. So here we'll try to see why psychoeducation assessment has to be conducted, what is psychoeducation assessment, the different stages involved in the assessment process, and who should get the assessment done as such. So first let us see why psychoeducation assessment. So psychoeducation assessment is basically done to diagnose if a child or a student is having any learning difficulty or a learning disability. The child is a slow learner, the child is having any attention deficit or hyperactive disorder, the child is having any concentration issues, having any academic issues, etc. So anyone with these concerns can get this assessment done. Apart from it, even children who are not having any learning disability or learning difficulty, the child may be even a gifted child, the child's IQ level also might be good enough. But yes, the child is having academic concerns, the child's academic performance is dipping month after month or maybe year after year, then the child can get this assessment done as such. The child is not submitting his or her homework and assignments on time, is not concentrating in class, doesn't want to go to school. Even in those concerns also, the child can get this assessment done. Next, let us see what exactly psychoeducation assessment. So psychoeducation is an assessment that helps to assess and analyze a child's reasoning and problem solving skills. Helps one to gauge their attention span, how their attention level is all about, their working memory, how the working memory is working, their language and spatial ability skills can be assessed, about their memory, the retention ability, all this can be assessed there. Their visual motor integration can be assessed, and a broad range of the executive functions like problem solving ability, their organization skills, their impulse control, all this can be assessed during this assessment process. Apart from it, this assessment also helps to gauge the child's performance in areas such as reading, writing, spelling and math. Okay. Next, let us try to see the different stages in this assessment process. There are again 4 stages. The first stage says initial consultation. In this stage, what happens? The psychometrician or clinical psychologist will be meeting the parent, teacher or the guardian who has brought the child. So a screening interview happens over here. So the social demographic data is being collected, the academic concerns are being made note of. If there is any clinical concerns or clinical data is needed to be collected, that is being collected over here. So all these things will happen in this initial consultation. Second, a preliminary assessment of the child is being done, where we can also say it's an informal interview that is being done, where a rapport building can happen between the psychometrician or the clinical psychologist and the child as such, where the handwriting samples are being collected, how the child is doing the copywriting, that also has been assessed. Child may be asked to draw something, some board games are being given, some logical reasoning puzzles can be given to the child. Then the child sitting tolerance is being assessed over here. So a lot of observation will happen. So this could be for a period of 30 minutes to 45 minutes, depends from child to child, and the age of the child also matters over here. Next, the third stage involves psychometric tests. So this happens in 2 parts. The first, we do some assessments where some paper pencil, some forms are there. So these are being given to either to the parent or the teacher or the guardian who brings the child. So they have to fill this up. So there is the ADHD form. There is something called a social maturity scale where we use the Vinland social maturity scale. There is some pediatric checklist. There are some dyslexia checklist, etc. So all forms are not given to everyone. This again depends on the initial consultation that is being done on the screening interview. Based on this, the clinical psychologist, psychometrician will decide which form has to be given for which child and in which case as such. Next, in the second part, a test is being assessed directly to the child as such. So here some IQ tests have been given, both verbal and non-verbal tests have been conducted on the child. Then an SLT battery. Basically, most of the centers, I think we are using the Niemann's index of SLT test as such. So this has been given. Apart from it, we try to analyze their phonological awareness, their reading ability. So all this is being assessed during this entire process. The last stage involves the report counseling and recommendation. So once the testing is being done, the raw data is being collected. The raw data is then been interpreted by the psychometrician, the clinical psychologist, and a report has been generated. Once the report is being generated, the parent, the teacher, the guardian is being called upon for counseling. A detailed counseling will be given to the parent of the child, and then that we also explain what the concerns are all about, how to go about with, then how to overcome this problem. The entire process is being explained. If the child is old enough, then the child also will be counseled. Meantime, some recommendations are being given, what has to be done at home, so that helps the child to overcome these issues. What has to be done at school, that also has been explained. A complete structured plan will be given to them. Apart from it, need may be, then remedial classes is being recommended to the parent. The child has to undergo some remediation as such. The child is having any other special needs, for that also we give some recommendations and suggestions. Lastly, who should get the assessment done? As told in the beginning itself, child is having any concentration issue, child is a slow learner, child is having any academic concern, learning difficulty. In all these cases, this assessment can be done. The child IQ might be good, child might be gifted child, but for some reason there's a dip in their academic performances, or in other cases when the child is working very hard, but that is not getting reflected in the report cards. In those cases also, they can get the assessment done. If the teacher constantly during parent teachers meeting is done some observations and telling the parent, month on month or whenever you meet them as such, that every meeting this has been highlighted some pointers. In those cases also, please get the assessment done. Maybe some academic issues have been raised by the teacher, so please get it addressed as such. Next, the child might be scoring very good marks in some areas, but when it comes to areas where math and English has to be used, comprehension ability has to be used, reading, writing ability has to be used, and the child is finding very difficult or failing there as such. In those cases also, get this assessment done. Okay, so this assessment will help one to understand where the child stands, how to help the child. I would suggest the parents to start analyzing and observing the child at the initial years itself. The child may be still in LKG, UKG, first standard, and if the milestones are not getting met, and some concerns are being raised at the school, or you yourself being nowadays all educated parents observing something, please meet a professional psychologist and then take their help. Okay, so psychoeducational assessment will help you to analyze where your child stands. I hope this video was helpful. If anyone is having any queries, do DM to us. If you need any personal counseling, need any assessments to be done, contact the center. Thank you. Have a great day.